everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Jazz Zodiac's classic pay-per-view review. This was not by design for the one we're going to be doing today. I'll get to that here in a moment. But of course, back on the show, just me and him. It's the psycho nerd, the repeat movie viewer, all that fun shit that he does. And again, I have to say this, that when we were talking about doing this at the end of the year last year, it was all random. Just random. There was, and when April rolled around and it was WrestleMania 14, I was like, okay, it's right after WrestleMania season. You know, at this point, the WrestleMania hangover is gone. You know, to be, everybody's different, obviously. But yeah, we're gonna arguably one of the better WrestleManias in WrestleMania history, with a little bit of a twist. Now, I know for you were a back and forth WCW, WWF guy. You would go back and forth.
At the time, yeah, that is correct. But this particular WrestleMania in 1998, this was around the official time that I stopped changing channels because WCW was their product was getting ridiculous. There was title changings happening literally every pay-per-view. It got ridiculous, and I stopped giving a shit. Somewhere around May or June of this year, right after WrestleMania, is when I just I stopped doing it. I was like, you know what? WWF is the only one keeping my attention right now. Screw WCW. I'm fed up. I'm done. So I walked away.
And this is, I think, for WCW, they had like everybody in the NWO. They had the Wolfpack. They had the LWO. They had like so many variations of the New World Order that it got really ridiculous. And you can see why people like Jericho and Guerrero and all these other gentlemen that left. You can see why they were like, fuck this. We're on the mid card and we're way better than this.
They were the ones that were keeping my attention when I was still watching, and I actually missed watching them. But when they started slowly migrating over to WWF, especially with Jericho, I jumped out of my seat when he made his debut.
The Jericho review was pulling for him to interrupt The Rock. That was they could not have written that any better. They really couldn't have. The crowd. I one of the biggest pops that I've ever seen on a televised wrestling event is, you see the dancer pop up and then the words Jericho and then it was fucking loud. And I'm like, dude. And I remember I think I was in I forget where the fuck I was, but I remember we were watching wrestling in the rec room when I was in the Navy, and we were like, Jericho's here. We all know who the fuck it was. I mean, we weren't oblivious to WCW.
No, not at all.
But we got off topic. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, but we will be talking about WrestleMania 14. I have the match card up on my computer here. Only 8 matches. I know some of the ones we've watched in the past, there's been like 15 matches, and there were like half of them were on the pre-show. So not the case this time. No pre-show matches. We just jump right into it. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to jump right into it. We have LOD 2000. They've upgraded with Sonny, who, oh my God, Sonny looking all kinds of hot.
Yeah, because in the storyline, LOD, good.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, in the storyline, the LOD actually got destroyed by the New Age Outlaws sometime prior to WrestleMania, where they were like shaving their head and they just put them through tables and shit. There was a big old deal about it. So them coming back was actually kind of a big deal at the time.
Okay, fair enough. And it was like a tag team battle royale to determine the number one contenders for the WWF Tag Team Champions, who on this show were the New Age Outlaws. This is pre-DX, if I'm not mistaken.
This is before DX, or before the New Age Outlaws joined DX, but they literally joined the night after.
Oh, so, I did not know that. That's fucking awesome.
The very next night. It was a very fun, very interesting day after WrestleMania. When they talk about the day after WrestleMania is like insane, they're probably talking about that particular one because it got crazy. When they joined DX, they made a big old splash when they did so. So
fair enough. But the 2 tag teams that are highlighted on the Wikipedia side are LOD 2000, Hawk and Animal with Sonny, and the Midnight Express, which is Bodacious Bart and Bombastic Bob. fucking names. With Jim Cornette, I fucking love Jim Cornette. I don't care what anybody says. The man is honest to a fault, and he's not afraid to tell you if something is shitty or if something. Him and Vince Russo do not like each other, and I know this is off topic again, but Jim Cornette has said he wants to outlive Vince Russo just so he can piss on his grave, and that's a direct quote from him too. That's how much hate he has for the man.
Well, you know what? That's between those two, but yeah, there's a lot of different random tag teams in this particular match, but there's quite a few to go through. But I'll tell you what, there are some familiar faces of people that haven't really even hit their nick in the company yet.
Yeah.
Like Steve Blackman or the guys that would eventually become Too Cool. They're in this match.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, I would list them all, but it would take a while to go through.
And the Headbangers were in there too.
Headbangers were in there. You had like you said, you didn't mention them. The New Midnight Express was there. Sabio Vega, Miguel Perez, Vincent Bradshaw, D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry from the the Nation of Domination. The Quebecers were there. Rock and Roll Express, you mentioned. Jesus Castillo and Jose Estrada from the Los Boricuas. We mentioned Headbangers, Scott Taylor and Brian Christopher, eventually becoming Too Cool. Flash Funk and Steve Blackman was in this match. Recon and Sniper, I forget the name of the faction they used to be a part of. They were pretty much, that faction was going out the door at this point. You got the Godwins, Skull and 8 Ball, and then to finish it out, you got Farouk and Kama, who would eventually become the Godfather.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah.
I forgot about that. The whole train. But in all of the chaos that is here, LOD 2000 wins the Battle Royale, and they are now the WWF #1 contenders for the titles. But a little secrecy here. Would it be the New Age Outlaws, or would it be Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie?
Well, we have that match later on. So,
the battle royales tend to be total chaos and anarchy, and that's why I like them. They're unpredictable. They really are. I mean, with a rumble, you can kind of figure out who's going to win, but with a battle royale, especially with a tag team battle royale, and then my dude got out. Sorry guys, I gotta go. I gotta go to dinner. Bye.
Yeah, see, they established that right away that if your partner gets eliminated, you're eliminated, and
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been a little bit more fun if that wasn't the stipulation throughout the match, because you lost. I still have an opportunity to win our team an opportunity. You know what I mean? But I understand why they did it. They did it to keep things moving. It ended up being just over an 8-minute match, which is not bad for a battle royal. So.
No, you don't want it to be half an hour just for that.
No.
So it makes sense. Like I said, definitely a good match. Definitely a nice way to, and of course, LOD being out there, the fucking crowd went fucking nuts. Oh my God. And then Sunny coming out there with that dress that she was wearing, or that outfit she was wearing. It's a damn shame what happened to Sunny. She's fallen on hard times. She was like one of the most downloaded women on the planet for like a couple of years there.
Yeah, she sure was. But you know what? When you do what she did, it's like it's kind of hard to feel sorry for her. It's like
we won't talk about what she did.
We won't go into detail, but you know what? It's like it sucks that it had to happen. It sucks how things played out, but it's like, you know what? You reap what you sow, you make a mistake, you got to pay for it. And it's unfortunate, but not much else we can say about that.
To quote Dr. Frankenstein, we all know what she did.
Yeah, we all know.
What she did. We're going to move on to which a title I forgot existed, was the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship. I guess the precursor to the Cruiserweight. We have Taka Michinoku, who was a champion, versus a 19-year-old prodigy known as Aguila, which I don't remember this dude. I don't think we've heard of him since.
Yeah, I mean, at the time they were really kind of pushing for the cruiserweights or the Lucha Libres in the company, but they WCW had already been a part to this party before this. They were already pushing the Lucha Libres since 1996 when I started watching it.
Yeah,
they were literally the backbone of the company. It took WWF a little while to get up to speed, but at least they kind of sort of got there. But,
yeah. This is a good match. I mean,
it's a good match.
Yeah, it was a great match. And for Aguila being only 19, that's even more impressive. He was they said he was a professional at 15. That's unheard of. That's unheard of.
Well, Mexican wrestlers were like that. Like Rey Mysterio, he started out when he was really early in his life. But yeah, this was only like a 6-minute match. It's a very quick one, and there are a lot of really fun highlights that happen throughout the match. Like in the
Yeah.
beginning, they both get their high flying moves on each other. There was an Asai moonsault from Aguila, and then what is it? Taka does like this forward flip off the top rope. That was quite nice.
Yeah.
Uh, Aguila got a arm drag off the top rope to Taka. That looked pretty ugly.
Yeah.
Very dangerous looking corkscrew pancha that happened at one point during the match when Taka was on the outside. Man, it looked like he almost skimmed that fucking ropes, man. He came real close, but he
Yeah, he
pulled it
did.
off. So give him credit. But I do love how the ending played out. What is it? Aguila was on the top rope. He went for whatever he was going for. Taka hits him with an ugly drop kick, hits him right in the gut, and it manages to get the Taka Michinoku, or the Michinoku driver, excuse me,
Yeah.
to get the 1, 2, 3. So
Yeah.
solid
It was a
match.
solid match. Yeah, it really was. And the average fan would have thought, "Oh, restroom break, time to go." I'm like, no, fucking watch the match. It was actually pretty fucking good.
Mhm.
Definitely give the cruiserweights their flowers. They fucking, especially in this match.
No, they can save the bathroom break for after this match. The whole interview between what the hell her name was, Jenny, whatever the hell her name was, interviews The Rock about being a
Oh,
leader
Jennifer
and
Flowers. Yeah,
homeless. Yeah, Jennifer Flowers.
this
Yeah.
was right after the Bill Clinton um incident with the intern. I forget her name, but yeah, that was
What,
right after
Lewinsky?
that. Huh? Yeah, Monica Lewinsky. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But moving on, we have for the I love this belt. I wish they'd bring it back. The WWF European Championship. We have Triple H with China versus Owen Hart. Now, the stipulation for this match is because China has a habit of interfering in the matches. That was just
Quite a
her
bit.
MO.
Mhm.
So the commissioner, Sergeant Slaughter, Tin Hut. Yeah, that big fucking chin of his. The stipulation was that Sergeant Slaughter and China would be handcuffed to each other to prevent her from interfering.
Mhm.
I'm sure that will work out really well.
See, and I remember watching this match the first time and now watching it again after all these years. The first time, it's like, something is going to happen. It's all
Yep.
about waiting to see how this is going to play out. Like, okay,
Mhm.
is she going to get free? How is she going to potentially interfere in the match? But to their credit, I don't know if this was planned out or just the way it was supposed to go, but the match goes on for quite some time before
Yeah,
any
it
kind
does.
of real interference actually takes place. So they give the two competitors in the ring an opportunity to kind of just do their own thing for a while.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So,
I do too. Especially, I think Owen was coming off of a kayfabe ankle injury, which is how
mhm.
Triple H got the European title off of him in the first place. Yeah, this is again Owen Hart. May he rest in peace, man. I feel like we didn't get to see his full potential because he was gone a year from this point, or just a little
Mhm.
over a year. He'd be
just
gone.
over, just
Just
over a
over a
year.
year, he'd be gone.
It was the Over the Edge pay per view on May, and I'll never forget that.
Yeah,
Uh, but you know what? Again, that's the thing about this particular show. Every match was pretty much good. Very
yeah,
solid match. At one point, Owen looked like he got his nose broken because he had a little bit of trickle of blood going on, and his
yeah.
nose looked all messed up throughout the match. So that kind of sucks. But
Well, of
you know
course, I
what?
can smell what the Rock is cooking. Look how big my damn nose is.
Woo! I love that bit.
Start
How the
calling
hell
him
do
No Nose
you
Pruitt.
How do you get your pecs to go all the way around like that? Oh man. Jim Ross's reaction was
Yeah, we
priceless.
we we could not get away with that today. That was pretty fucked up.
No,
The
no.
way China gets away per se from Sergeant Slaughter, he has a handful of powder, throws it in his face, interferes in the match. Triple H gets the pedigree of the roll up 1, 2, 3. He is still your champion. Once they unhandcuff her from fucking Slaughter, she fucking decks him right in the dome. It was fucking like I'd forgotten how against authority DX was. And if you want to see it, this is the time to watch. DX was very fuck the authority. The way they call this Generation X. No, we're D-Generation X. You make the rules and we break them. That was the mantra.
Yep,
It
pretty
was a
much.
better version of the NWO, and I know that's blasphemous to some people, but I will die on that hill. DX was better than NWO started something. DX finished it.
Yeah, because they let, the whole NWO thing go way
They
too far
did.
out of hand. DX, it lasted for, a couple of years. They tried to bring it back as a heel faction. It lasted for a short period of time, and then it
Yeah.
just went away for a while. It didn't overstay its welcome, unlike the NWO. That shit went on. Even when they tried to rebrand WCW at some point around, I wanna say, what, 2000, somewhere in that ballpark, they
Yeah.
still managed to bring back the NWO. And it's like, guys, you're taking a step back. This is not opposites attract. You're not
No.
Paul Abdul. Go forward and try something different for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah, DX definitely kept its core members under 5 to 6. They didn't try to get everybody in. It made no
Yeah.
sense to do
No,
that. So,
it
and
really
again,
didn't.
that's a whole nother argument we could have on this show.
No, but
But
one thing I will at least say, just because it came into my head, the whole thing about throwing the powder in Slaughter's face. Every time I see the powder, it reminds me of one thing: Ready to Rumble.
fuck.
When he throws the powder in DDP's face, you idiot! That doesn't work, and he handcuffs him. Diamond upside down is pussy.
Jesus. Yeah.
Sorry, had to do that.
We're going to move on to a mixed tag team match, something we don't see very often these days. You had Mark Miro and Sable versus the artist formerly known as Goldust and Luna Vachon. This, in reality, was all about Sable and Luna. The
Mhm.
jealousy, Sable, and even Mark Miro and Sable too, because even when this match was over, Mark is trying to take all the credit, and Sable's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? They came to see me, not you. And I think that was more of a real life, like Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth shit in the back that was going on between them personally in real life.
Well, yeah, in the storyline, there was already a problem going on between Sable and Mero, and there was even so many situations where Mero was kind of aligning himself with Goldust, but then an incident happened along the way, and it's just like, oh, okay, wait a minute, what the hell? So that's how the mixed tag match came to be.
Yeah.
So uh, yeah, you know what? We don't see mixed tag matches very often, but once again, they make oh my god, they make I wanted to call her Rena. I don't know why. They make Sable look like $1,000,000 in
They
this
did.
fucking match. They
They
really
really
do.
did.
And a lot of that credit, I think, goes to Luna.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. I don't know. Luna Vachon was kind of like the redheaded stepchild in WWE, especially the women's division. She was just against the grain with the character that she had. It was very, you know what I mean? It was just different, and some people just couldn't get behind it, myself included.
Well, they didn't really use her properly. They didn't market her very well, and quite
Yeah.
frankly, she never got the respect she deserved because she was a workhorse in that company. Well, at a time when Alundra Blaze walked away from the company and took the title with her, she was one of the few females the company had, but they just did not utilize her properly. And
Yeah.
when it came, she was going originally, from what I've been told, what I've read, she was eventually going to win the title. But they didn't give it to her because they thought that, the people would be against it. And it's like, she deserves it. Give it to
Yeah,
her.
yeah. The hell with what the people think.
Yeah, exactly. Just
I'm
she
sorry.
earned it.
I'm sorry. The hell with the people thing. And if you don't believe me, ask Jey Uso. Fucker got a title just because, oh, he's over. Yeah, so did Daniel Bryan. How the fuck did that go down either? You know what I mean? Seriously. The
It's not a
fans.
popularity contest.
No,
I'm telling you.
it's really not, seriously. But this was actually a pretty good match too. And again, like I said, Sable powerbomb the fuck out of Luna, got the pin. I'm sorry, Sable back in the day was fucking insanely fucking gorgeous. Jesus Christ. But
You know
again, you could see when the match is over, Mark Miro's like, oh yeah, we won. And Sable's like, no, motherfucker, I won. And even when they're walking to the back, there's that animosity, and you're sitting there going,
mhm.
is that real? Or is this just part of the story? Or is this like legit beef? But then again, maybe this is all leading up to the whole cheating on Miro with Brock Lesnar a couple years down the road. So yeah,
Not really too sure at that point, but yeah, in the storyline, they were already, like I said, things were already sour to begin with, so it
yeah,
makes sense that she would act that way.
yeah,
But
fair enough. We're gonna move on to the Intercontinental Championship. It's The Rock, the People's Champion, with the Nation of Domination. No, you can yawn all you want. I'm giving fucking Stone Cold his flowers later. You can give The Rock his right now. Fuck off.
you know what? He took a bullet this night. Let's be fair here. It was a squash match. He barely got any offense at all. It was mostly Ken Shamrock the whole damn match. And I'll tell you what, Shamrock shot himself in the foot badly.
Yes, he did.
Because he spent a good portion of the year. I think even at the Royal Rumble, he had a match against The Rock, and he for the IC title. He didn't win it at the time. This was supposed to be like, okay, I'm at Mania, I finally win the belt, and he finally does. But he won't relinquish the goddamn ankle lock, and they end up reversing the decision. And The Rock gets his ass handed to him more times than I think The Rock deserved it that night. But
Yeah, but I think the thing, and it's funny. A year later, actually less than a year later, they would be in the same corporate faction, Shamrock and The Rock and everybody else that was there. So it's kind of how, if you can't beat them, join them mentality. But for me, that's not the story of this match. It's when Farouk comes out and is like, he's Obafemi, he's coming out. I'm gonna fucking fix this shit. And then The Rock is bleeding out of his mouth, and the ankle lock, he's selling it, whatever. And Farouk, like, he's gonna go in the ring, and he goes, nah, turns around and walks away. And I'm going, oh, this is why they kicked Farouk out. This is when all that shit went down. Okay.
Yeah, because at this point,
sense.
yeah, leading up to this match, there was already a little bit of tension going on where The Rock joined the group, and it kind of felt like he was slowly starting to try to take over the whole leadership role of the Nation of Domination, and Farouk wasn't having it. So that's why he walked away that night.
Yeah. And again, that's just great storytelling too. Like, oh, I can help you, but I'm not gonna.
No.
And then I love how I'm like, oh, the bell rings. I'm thinking, fuck, I don't remember Ken Shamrock winning the Intercontinental belt. And then freaking Finkel, the ref has made a decision that since Ken Shamrock has been disqualified, therefore he's still your Intercontinental champion, The Rock. And I'm sitting there going, oh, I freaking forgot about that. And then Ken Shamrock goes fucking nuts. Like, he just destroys The Rock, and it's just beautiful to watch. And I don't know, it's just great storytelling. And this is when Rock was calling himself the People's Champion. So, the People's Intercontinental Champion, Jennifer. So
it wasn't even that long of a match. I think I
really
clocked it somewhere around like 6 minutes or some shit. It was very quick.
Less than 5. Yeah, it was less than 5 minutes, but it told a lot.
Yeah, it accomplished exactly what it needed to do, and it did it. And a lot happened in those 5 minutes. I'll tell you.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and there was also the stipulation for the match about if The Rock got himself DQ'd, he would automatically be stripped of the title.
Yeah.
So,
how ironic that Ken Shamrock gets DQ'd. So it's like, that's definitely some foreshadowing. Like, yeah, there'll be a DQ, but it won't be The Rock.
No, that's some funny irony going on there. Let me tell you.
We're going to move on to the WWF Tag Team Championships between the New Age Outlaws, again, pre-DX, versus Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie, Mick Foley and Terry Funk, the godfathers of hardcore wrestling. And would you know it, they're having a dumpster match. Probably a first for WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely. And the first and only, to my knowledge. So
yeah, and I expect nothing less from Mick Foley and Terry Funk to be regular match. Fuck you. We're doing hardcore. We're doing thumbtacks. We're doing Lego bats. We're doing barbed wire bats. We're doing everything we can to hurt everybody. And
there's a couple of no, it didn't. There's a couple of ugly spots. At one point, Cactus Jack tried doing a cannonball off the apron onto the freaking dumpster, and they got out of the way, and he ran right into it. It's like, damn it, dude, stop doing that. It's quick trying to kill yourself. What do you call it? At one point, we have, what is it? Cactus and Billy were on the ladder, and then he gets pushed over by Chainsaw Charlie, and they both landed in the dumpster. And I'll tell you what, to this day, I cringe every time I see that little bit, because it's like, it could have gone so wrong with those two landing in that fucking dumpster in a bad way. You know what I mean? But thankfully, neither one of them got hurt. So
if I'm not mistaken, they used a forklift to put them into the dumpster and to seal it. So therefore, Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie are your new WWF tag team champions. And I'm pretty sure it didn't last very long, because I don't remember them being tag champs. So I'm pretty sure it didn't last very long.
No, because they end up fighting to the back at some point, and they're beating each other up with cookie sheets and giant plastic surge bottles. Go figure. And they use a forklift to throw them into a different dumpster to win the match. They win the titles, but here's the thing. The following night on Raw, it was announced that because they put them in the wrong dumpster, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Knew it.
That happened. They had another match between the New Age Outlaws and Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie for the tag belts, the main event of the night, and that was when The New Age Outlaws were brought in to DX. And that's when the whole rebranding of DX happened throughout the night. Yeah, it was very short lived. They had those belts one day.
Well, it's about as bad as when Kane won the title, and then the next night, the night on Raw, he loses it back to Stone Cold. I'm like, why the fuck give it to him? It reminds me of when Zack Ryder, WrestleMania 32, I was there. He has his WrestleMania moment. He climbs the ladder. He gets the Intercontinental belt. He has a moment with his dad. Yeah, I'm fucking the champion. And then on Raw, what happens? Maurice is there, front row. The Miz is there. Miz gets the Intercontinental Championship. I'm like, dude, let him have it for a week before you take it off the man. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, hell, something similar happened to Bob Backlund years ago after he had that submission match with Bret Hart at Survivor Series. I forget what year, 94, 95, somewhere in that ballpark. And he wins because of Owen Hart convincing their mom to throw in the towel because he was in the crossface chicken wing for a long time.
I do remember that.
He wins the belt after how many years of not being the champion, and then the very next night on Raw, if memory serves me correctly, or like within a week, not even that. He ends up losing it to Diesel in less than 10 seconds, as I recall.
Jesus. It's a fucking squash match.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, I know this is going to be blasphemous for what I'm about to say, but this next match is the one I was the most looking forward to because they had been building this for a while.
Dude, they were building this match up from back during the summer.
Yeah.
Like this one went on for a long time. It started out real subtle with Undertaker beating up on Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer released the idea that Kane's alive. He's alive. We have Bad Blood in October. The official debut of Kane. Kane kind of just runs through the company. Doesn't go well. Taker flat out says he will not fight Kane. He will not fight his own brother. Not the first time we've done that particular angle before. They did the same thing with Owen and Bret at WrestleMania 10. He said almost literally the exact same words. I will never fight my own flesh and blood. So go figure.
Yeah.
And of course, everything led up to the Royal Rumble. At first, it looked like Kane and Undertaker were going to be on the same page leading into that match, the casket match against Shawn. Of course, we all know how that played out. They betrayed the Undertaker, put him in the casket, burned it. He disappears for a period of time, and then finally he shows up, and it's like, okay, that's it. You pissed me off. It's time to go to war.
It's time to go.
It's time to go.
I just remember, and I believe when Kane was debuted, introduced, so to speak, it was in a Hell in a Cell or a cage match with Shawn Michaels, I believe, wasn't it?
The first Hell in the Cell. That's how the match ended, because it looked like pretty much the match went on for as long as it did. Taker had the match won. It was a done deal at that point. Lights go down, music hits, Kane comes out with the red light, rips the door off the chain.
Ripped it off the hinges.
Yeah, ripped it off the hinges, excuse me. Walks in the ring, they stare off against each other.
Yep.
The fucking pyro on the side of the corners goes off. Taker is taking it back, gets a tombstone, match is over. Shawn retains. Go figure.
And the look on Taker's face when he sees Kane, and that's gotta be Kane. Fucking Vince on commentary. That's gotta be Kane.
Such a classic moment. Such a classic moment in that company, for real.
In a match of this caliber, it had to be WrestleMania. You can't do this. And I've said this before, especially with the most recent WrestleManias. A lot of the matches they've had, they could have done on Raw or SmackDown. I'm sorry, I don't need to see not a triple threat, but a 6-man tag between the Vision and LA Knight versus fucking the Usos and LA Knight versus the Vision and whoever the fuck. And I don't need that. That's not WrestleMania. That's I'm so over it. And I hate that these celebrities, YouTubers, and I'm not talking about Logan Paul. Logan Paul has cut his teeth. He's good. He's great at what he does, and he's there full time. No argument there. But I show speed. What the fuck, dude? Seriously.
Okay,
fucking YouTuber.
Using celebrities is one thing, but you know what? If all the people who deserved to be at WrestleMania had gotten some kind of a shot one way or the other, if they'd been on the card, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah,
but the fact that so much good talent, great talent, was not allowed to be at the fucking show, that rubbed me the wrong way. Hell, we don't even do the Battle Royal at WrestleMania anymore. We don't even do that.
It's on SmackDown.
I know, and it shouldn't be. It should be on the goddamn card. Hell, you know what they ought to do? They ought to do a Battle Royal, one per night, one for the men and one for the women. For all the people that don't have anything to do that night.
Yep. There it is.
Right there. That solves the problem. Everybody gets a chance to be on the card in some fashion, but how the fuck have they not figured it out yet?
And I'll up the ante a little bit on that. The battle royales, the winners of the battle royale get a title shot. Make
Exactly.
it worth it.
Exactly.
I mean, you've got the Rumble, you've got the Money in the Bank, and these are all guaranteed title shots. You got Money in the Bank, you got the Rumble. King of the Ring now is having it to where they get a guaranteed title shot at SummerSlam. Why not have the Battle Royale have it where they get a title shot at, say, I don't know, Backlash or whatever? It doesn't.
Yeah, just somewhere down the road. They're officially the number one contender when they win that Battle Royal.
And again, if you're going to do 2 nights of WrestleMania, which I'm fucking against, but if you're going to do it, just like they did with the Rumble this year, they had the men's on one night, the women's on the other. If you're going to do it, that's the way it should be. The same thing. The first night have the women, night 2 you have the men. And have it open the show. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And I don't need to have everybody have their fucking entrance. They come out, they get in the ring, they ring the bell, they fucking go. I don't need to have, we're going to give the top stars their entrance. Fuck you. I don't need to see their entrance. Just fucking let them go out there and cause chaos. Again, we went off topic. We're talking about the Undertaker and Kane, and
yeah, but
but again, it goes back to my point. This is a match that needed to be at the grandest stage of them all. It had to be at WrestleMania, and this match did not disappoint.
No, and before we even get to the match, we get the first of 3 very fun sequences with Mr. Pete Rose, Mr. Shaving Points Pete Rose.
No, he didn't shave points. He was begging.
I know. But yeah, it always reminds me of Crew from Longest Yard.
Longest Yard, yeah.
But he comes out, talks a lot of trash to the crowd. You know, they're not loving it. Kane comes out, gives him a very wonderful, very nice tombstone. This will be the first of 3 that we get. And then the Undertaker comes out. He's got the Druids with him. I love the music they use initially when the Druids come out. I love that piece of music. And then the long walk of Taker, and I love Undertaker's entrance, man. I will never get sick and tired of seeing it. At least back in those days. I feel like when he came back after WrestleMania 20, it just didn't hit as well as it used to. But back in the old days, it still hits. And
well, at that point, it wasn't. At that point, it was taking so long because he was old. You know, he was just, this ramp is so fucking long. Oh my god.
That outfit he was wearing, it looked like he wasn't exactly moving very well because it looked pretty constrictive. But it looked cool though.
I do love the fucking Pete Rose talking shit about the Boston. And this was, this was about 6 years before the Red Sox would win a World Series for the first time in like ever. They had the Kristen Bambino, and Pete Rose is just being a heel, being a dick. You know, I tried to give a championship to Bob, or I
tried to give Bill Buckner tickets, but he couldn't bend over to pick them up.
He couldn't. And
How about
It's funny because the Red Sox lost a World Series game because he couldn't bend down to get the ball. He missed the ball. It's fucking hilarious. And I like to think I love to think that WWE Creative wrote that, but I'm pretty sure it was Pete Rose going, I'm going to be a complete dick. Fuck Boston. I'm a Cincinnati Red. They can go fuck themselves.
Well, it makes the tombstone that he gets that much more enjoyable for the crowd. Him going off on him for as long as he did. So, but as far as this match is concerned, this goes on for like what, 25, 30 minutes. It's
17 minutes. 17
was it
minutes.
17? Wow. 17. Not as long as I thought. I used to remember think that this match went on for a long time, but not as long as I remember.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Undertaker defending himself, and I know what he was doing. He was letting Kane wear himself out. He was doing the Rocky method. He was letting him expel himself throughout the match until he finally went on the attack. But there was an ugly move with Undertaker jumping off the top rope towards Kane on the outside, and he just kind of swatted him like a fly, and he landed on the freaking announce table. Not pretty ugly fall, if you ask me.
Yeah, it looked pretty nasty. The fact that Kane took 3 tombstones before he went down.
3. But you know what? You go back and watch that match. You understand that the first tombstone looked terrible. It did not look good. So I guarantee you, they were like, "Okay, that came off real shitty. Let's try it again." Second one was like, "Okay, that's a little better. It's a little better, but we need a really good solid." And the third one, boom, solid, perfect. It was perfect.
And again, if that was an audible in the ring, it makes sense because you're not going to beat someone like Kane with a shitty tombstone. It definitely makes the character look really, really strong. And for him to take 3 Taker took one and kicked out. So it's like, okay, cool. And for Kane to have that same move set, it makes sense because they're fucking brothers. It makes 100% sense. You're like,
They
oh, he
really
should
do.
have his own move set. No, it really shouldn't. They're
It made
fucking
sense.
brothers. Yeah,
Yeah,
it made 100% makes sense.
because I mean, he was big enough to pull off both the choke slam and the tombstone, so why the hell not? It would
Yeah.
make sense that he would mirror the same
Mhm.
stuff that his brother would do. Hell, you could play with the idea that he's been watching him all these years and paying attention, watching his moves. I mean, from a story point standpoint, obviously,
Yeah.
but but it works as far as
And
I'm
but
concerned.
at the end, my only question is, would you have let Kane win this match? Granted, it is WrestleMania, and this is before the streak, before they were making a big deal about the streak. So if you can go back in time, would you make Kane win this match?
And I thought about that while I was watching the match. Was it the right decision?
Yeah.
And I'm not really convinced that it was. I'm not, because up until this point, Kane is on a path of destruction. Quite literally, he went through anybody and everybody that stood up to him.
Yep.
Dude, Love went against him. He got his ass kicked. Fucking Vader got his face clenched in with a fucking what was it? It was like a giant wrench at No Way Out the month prior to that. So
Yeah.
he defeated everybody. And I feel like him losing at Mania kind of killed that momentum
It
dead.
really did.
Almost like what happened to Asuka at WrestleMania years ago. It
Yeah.
kind of killed the momentum a little bit, and they mellowed him out slowly but surely afterwards. Yes, he did win the world title later, like just a month or two later at the King of the Ring, but like you said, he only won it one night. It was just a storyline idea. That was it. It was the only
Yeah.
purpose of doing it.
It's you
So
could have made Kane one of the biggest, baddest motherfuckers on the planet. And I think, but then again, if you give Kane the win at WrestleMania 14, we don't have the streak storyline that we would have
see,
7-8 years later. So it's kind of a tit for tat. Like, what do you do?
see,
Or
that's a valid point though.
you could have made them both look strong and it's a double count out. Or they both big clothesline, they're on the ground, they cannot move. 10 count, it's over. Streak is intact. Both men look strong. Again, we could play Monday morning quarterback all day.
Yeah,
But
of course.
At the end of the day, Taker won. That was the decision they went with. But I do believe that they kind of were slowly killing that Kane character, making him look weak. And I'm like, you don't need to be killing strong character. And the way he came in, I'm sorry, any man, and I know it's kayfabe, I get it. But if any man who can grab a fucking steel cage door and rip it off the hinges without any tools, just rips it off, I'm sorry. Kane, I'm really sorry. Didn't mean it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a kid. I would try to justify it, but you know what? It is what it is. Taker won. We all know how that story ends.
Of course. And let me give you a little pop quiz. What was the first WrestleMania that Undertaker acknowledged the streak? There is a right answer.
I don't remember the actual WrestleMania, but I think it was against Edge.
Nope.
No.
No, sir.
Sure. I know it wasn't Mick Foley. I have no fucking clue.
It was at WrestleMania 18 when he defeated Ric Flair. As soon as he got out of the ring, he did this. He went like this, like, that's right, motherfuckers. 10 years in a row, I win. It's like, hey, all right. And that's technically speaking, that's when the acknowledgement of the streak officially began. Because after that, we heard about it every fucking year. Is he going to lose the streak? Is he going to lose? Is he going to lose it? So yeah, that was a fun way to acknowledge it.
And then they gave it to Brock, and then they had to make Roman. I'm like, no, fuck you. Sorry,
it didn't mean anything at that point. So Roman can
really didn't.
He can go kiss his own ass for all I care.
Moving on to the main event for the WWF Championship, we have the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, with Mike Tyson in his corner as a special ring enforcer, and they set this up. I want to say right around the Rumble when Mike Tyson came in. Yeah,
after the Rumble.
Versus that son of a bitch, Stone Cold Steve Austin, drinking them Steve Weisers. And I just remember on Raw, like fucking Stone Cold and Tyson are just going at it. Like they're legit fighting. I'm like, dude, don't, dude. If he hits you, it's over.
Well, that whole situation was gold. It was lightning in a bottle. The whole idea of the entrance of bringing in Mike Tyson, they announced, because he was at the Royal Rumble. He was watching the show. Shane McMahon was hanging out with him. So they had an interview with him. So it was very well known that he was going to do something. They just didn't know what. Very next night on Raw, they announced, he's going to be the special guest enforcer. Stone Cold comes out. You're standing in my ring. You're staring across from Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he took offense to the whole baddest man on the planet, toughest SOB in the company. He took offense to that. And then He gets all up in Tyson's face, flipped him off. Tyson pushed him, started the whole thing. And I love how McMahon is standing there screaming, "You ruined it, damn it, you ruined it." Like, he didn't ruin anything.
No, he
They just
didn't.
put them through the stratosphere at that point. They may have still been losing to WCW, but I'll tell you what, the media was all over that
Yeah,
shit.
they were. Big time.
All over. Tyson's gonna be in the ring at WrestleMania. Like, what the
And this
fuck?
and in all reality, if they weren't in war with WCW, this storyline never would have happened. This was to generate buzz. It really was.
And it worked.
It worked 100%, you know. And this was a great fucking match. Again, I'm gonna give Stone Cold his flowers. This is a great fucking match. He went out there, he looked like $1 million. Shawn Michaels, again, Mr. WrestleMania. I mean, come on, seriously.
Well,
In all reality.
it makes the match that much more interesting if you take into consideration that both men were dealing with a lot of pain issues at the time. It's been well documented
Yep.
that Shawn Michaels had a back injury at the Royal Rumble when he went over the top rope, hit the fucking casket on his lower back, and it
Yes,
just
he
screwed
did.
him up fierce. So you watch that match, you see the look on his face. He is in pain the whole entire match. The further it goes, the more it hurts.
Yep.
Stone Cold, of course, is coming off the neck injury previously at SummerSlam
Yep.
with Owen Hart, and he's still dealing with that. He hasn't taken care of it yet. So both
Man.
men were in an incredible amount of pain throughout that match.
But it was a great fucking match. And of course, you have DX out there. You got Triple H and China out there. They get involved, and then fucking the ref goes, "You're gone. Get the fuck out." And I can't believe this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now it's gonna be fucking Mike Tyson in the ring. Never saw the swerve coming because him and Stone Cold were just like, "Fuck you. No, man, fuck you. I'm Mike Tyson. I'll kick your ass," all that kind of shit. Great match. I know Shawn tried to go for the Sweet Chin Music at least twice, and Stone Cold was able to block it. But the best one, he caught it. He swung him around, kick, boom. And Shawn doesn't have to oversell the move. He's not The Rock. He just, fuck, on my back, I'm done. And then Mike Tyson comes in the ring and does one of the fastest counts I've ever seen. Just pop, pop, pop. I know we all love and respect Mike Tyson, but I'm surprised he could count that high. So, but that's all refs, not just him. Bam, bam, bam. The match is over. And then JR, the voice of this generation, the Stone Cold era started. Stone Cold. And JR was such an advocate for Stone Cold. And
He was.
And it played very well on commentary. Of course, fucking King. I can't believe this. He's ruining the company. And puppies. Shawn Michaels. And then Shawn Michaels confronts Mike Tyson. They're having their little talk, whatever. Like, you were supposed to be on my side. What the fuck you doing? And then fucking Shawn shoves him. Tyson. God.
He tried to go for a punch, and Tyson knocked him the fuck out.
It was fucking hilarious. And you see the close-up of Shawn, and you see him like all my teeth still there?
Yeah, really. Let's make sure we don't swallow any of them. Shit. So yeah, great finale to an otherwise perfect show. Damn near perfect.
It was a great fucking show, and this is one of the better ones. When this popped up on the search, and again, I did it by company, WCW, WWF, or WWE. By the way, when the New Age Outlaws came out on Netflix, which is where I watched the show, when he said WWF, you heard WW, and they bleeped out the F, and I'm like, come on, can we just move on from this, guys? Seriously. I know it's a little thing, but I'm sorry. And even this is going to be completely off topic again, but I want to talk about this. The World
Wildlife Foundation,
that company. If anybody is looking for their foundation to make a donation, they are not going to confuse the two. WWF Foundation for donations and WWF Professional Wrestling or Sports Entertainment, whichever your cup of tea. You're not going to confuse them. And the funny part is they didn't decide to do a cease and desist lawsuit until they were at their fucking peak because they knew they could get money out of it. Greedy fucking bastards. Sorry.
No, all of the censor of the older shows, it bugs the crap out of me because it takes me out. You see a whole bunch of these little fudges all over the WWF logos. It caters to that idea, that old
erase history shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Erase history.
Well, that situation at the American Bank Center years ago where I went wearing my WrestleMania X7 jersey that had the fucking logo, and the guys were like,
Oh,
"Hey, you got to take that off." I was like, "What do you mean I got to take it off?" It's like the logo's on it. And I'm like, "Dude, we're way the hell back here. What the hell? You think they're really gonna pick up on it?" It's like, "Hey, well, you need to take it off," and I got a free T-shirt out of it. So what the hell?
fuck it.
I still have that T-shirt to this day, by the way.
It was a Triple H shirt, or was it
It
Stone
was a
Cold?
Triple H. Yeah, it was his skull face with the two sledgehammers on top,
Oh, yeah, I remember that
crisscrossing.
one. That's a good
Love
one.
that shirt. That's a great one. But going back to the whole the fact that they censor stuff, it's not just the logos. They changed some of the people's music around. Like Taka Michinoku, his
Well,
music is totally different.
well, that's because of licensing and copyright and all that. That one I get and I accept it for what it is. But when you have the guy holding up the belt, whatever belt it is, and then the freaking WWF is blurred out, I'm like, dude, we know it's there. I
Yeah,
don't need you to
exactly.
block it. It's so fucking stupid, and I get so annoyed by it. But
You know what? I have a lot of pay-per-views on fucking VHS. One of these days, I'm gonna get a converter. I'm gonna take all those old shows, I'm gonna convert them onto DVD, and if I ever watch the older shows, I'm watching that shit because I
yeah, there you
can't
go.
because they are uncensored. They are okay. There is one thing about the show I should at least address: how every WrestleMania leading up to now, what is one thing that always happens at the beginning of the show? What is
The
one thing we
little
always
the little video montage.
well, we got that. They're talking about tradition and how things have changed over the course of time. But what's
Welcome to
one other thing?
WrestleMania.
Okay, we didn't get that either. But the main thing I'm leading towards is the America the Beautiful,
Oh, that's
and
right.
there's a reason for it. The DX band did their own rendition of it at the start of the show. The
Ooh,
people were booing them out of the building because the way they sung it was just terrible,
ooh,
even blasphemous, I dare say.
yeah,
I've seen the footage. It's like, dude, what were you guys thinking? I
yeah,
understand this is the DX era, but this is just terrible. You could
yeah.
have gotten anybody to sing that shit.
Well, thankfully it wasn't on here. It might have made the grade go down. Speaking of grades, again, this has been a great show, but we want to give this a letter grade. DX has turned in their essay, their term paper. We are about to grade this WrestleMania 14 that took place, and I did not mention earlier all the cool stuff about it. And I'll do that right now. March 29th, 1998, in Boston, Massachusetts, at the Fleet Center. I got a Navy buddy who's actually from that area, and he talks very vividly about that.
Mhm.
Attendance is 19,028. The buy rate, and this is North America only, the buy rate was 730,000 buys. That is a lot. That is a lot of championship belts you can buy. And the tagline, the greatest pay-per-view attraction of all time. And it's one of those times where I'm like, they're not wrong. This was a great fucking show.
Mhm.
That being said, letter grade, Psycho, what grade do you give this show?
You know what, dude? After rewatching it, I can't really think of too many complaints. It gets an A all across the board. Honestly, it's a great
Just an
show.
A or an A plus?
Oh, did I forget about the plus? Yeah,
You
you know what?
did.
All right, let's give it an A plus because this still holds up as one of the best WrestleManias I've ever seen. And here's the thing. This was my very first WrestleMania that I ever got to see in my life.
Nice.
Never saw a WrestleMania before that. Soon after, I ended up getting the VHS 1 through 13 box set, which I still have to this day. Thank you very much. But here's the thing. I started working at the theater literally a couple of days prior. The Thursday before WrestleMania was my first day on the
Yeah,
job.
that's funny.
I'll never forget that because I remember thinking, oh, if I'd have started here sooner, I could have paid for WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
I
So
didn't pay for it. I actually borrowed a VHS tape from a guy at school who charged me like $5 to watch it. Not bad. Not
yeah,
bad.
not bad.
Not bad. Give it an A plus. It's a great show. It's one of the best WrestleManias. This is the quintessential WrestleMania show. That when you talk about trying to model it after a great show, this is the mold you should be using. This one
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
or
Okay.
X7 and only a select other few, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Well, A plus, huh? Well, I wish I had the soundbite, but bad news,
You're
Barrett.
gonna ruin it.
I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Of course you're
No,
gonna
you know
ruin it.
what? 100%. I 100% agree with you. This was a great fucking show, and when it was picked, I was like, okay. And the expectations were not high, only because I didn't remember. I had to look it up what it was. I'm like, yeah, the Mike Tyson one. Okay, cool. And this is a true story. This weekend has been full of crap all weekend I've had to deal with. So I watched it Friday night. I watched the show. I'm laying in bed watching on my TV, and then right as they're talking about the main event, I'm out. The lights in my room were still on, my computer was still turned on, and Netflix was like on the like, "Are you still there?" Like, "No, I've been asleep for 6 hours, bro. I'm done." So I had to rewatch just the main event last night before I went to bed, and it did not disappoint. This is a great fucking show. This is a show I will watch again because it was that good.
Well, that's why when you told me we were going to watch 14, I got happy. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Now,
hell yeah, no Roman Reigns anywhere near this card. Hell yeah.
no Hulk Hogan either, which makes it even better.
Oh, that's a good point. Good point.
But I could be a complete dick and go, nope, Stone Cold won the belt. F. But
yeah, you can since you're a Stone Cold hater, but you know.
No, I'm not a hater. I just like The Rock better. Dude,
and there's nothing wrong
you
with
were
that.
either a fan of The Rock or Stone Cold. There was no in between.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just a matter of preference. It's all good. I mean, there was a small time that I actually cheered for The Rock after the Deadly Game tournament or during the Deadly Game tournament in '98. But then after he turned out to be a fucking turncoat, I was like, you son of a bitch. Fuck you, man. I knew you were an asshole, you son of a.
It was me, Vince. Or it was me, Austin, the entire time.
Oh, son of a bitch. Great delivery from Jim Ross.
God, I love Jim Ross commentary.
It's like he couldn't hold it back at all.
No.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, well.
But this will conclude our review of WrestleMania 14. Hands down, one of the best WrestleManias of all time. That being said, Psycho Nerd, promote your shit.
Well, you can find my podcast currently on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which is Repeat Movie Viewer. I put up 2 episodes within the last few weeks. Me and my buddy Dennis talking about random movies. Feel free to check it out. And on my channel, I've put out several movie reviews over the last few days, including Tuner and holy crap, what was the other one? My mind is leaving me right now. Son of a bitch. You know how many views that Welcome to Raccoon City review is up to?
Last I talked to you, you said it was like 200.
It's up to over 600 now.
Dude,
600 plus views on that. And you know what? I know what it is. It's because that trailer had just dropped.
Yeah.
And I started putting, I should have been doing this before, but I started putting hashtags in the description, which I don't know why I wasn't doing that before.
You need to do that. Yep.
There you go.
That's how you get those views.
Oh, and the inaugural episode of Pete's House is officially on the channel.
Oh yeah. Damn. For those that don't know, Pete is a very good friend of ours who passed away during the pandemic in 2020. We would do movie marathons, not just at his place, but also at the theaters. We did the Avengers marathon when Age of Ultron came out. When the first Avengers came out, we went and saw all the movies prior to that. It was Iron Man 1 and 2, Incredible Hulk, Thor, and Captain America. And this is all in one day. All in one day.
Whole day marathon.
Yeah. And so for Psycho to do that for Pete, that's it. Yeah. 100% agree. So
well, and I picked one of the worst marathons I could have picked in honor of him because I know he's looking down laughing at me. It was the Resident Evil Paul W.S. Anderson films. I torture myself for you, buddy. For you, Pete. I hope you appreciate it.
He appreciates that.
I hope you do.
I do want to ask though, when you all those views, did you get any new subscribers out of it? Because that tends to be the trend.
5 new subscribers.
5 out of 600 is.
Yeah, I know. It would have been cool if it jumped quite considerably, but it's like, hey, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for it to go up again.
And the link to his show on YouTube will be in the description below. And of course, not just the Jazz Zodiac podcast, but also the Real Movie Critics, which we are going to be reviewing the movie of the week, which was hold on, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors movie I've never seen before. Familiar. Never seen this one before until this morning when I woke up in pain.
You know what? You know what's in pain? You know what's in pain? My soul.
My
soul is in pain right now.
But again, like I was saying, despite not just DJ's Zodiac podcast, but also the Real Movie Critics, real reviews by real fans. Both these shows can be found together on my YouTube page entitled Real Zodiac Productions, real spelled REEL, little play on words there. You can find both those shows together on one page along with the shorts on the YouTube page, along with the hot tag and the concession stand, which is a sub show of both, obviously. Hot tag, we talk about topics of the week. think we might be talking about the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano show last night that I didn't get to see. And you can find DJ Zodiac podcast and the Real Movie Critics on the YouTube page. Again, Real Zodiac Productions, and you can find them separate on their own Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Again, the descriptions will be down below, or the links will be down below in the description. But for the new camera angle for the Psycho Nerd, I am DJ Zodiac. I want to thank you for watching this particular episode, or listening if you're listening to us, of DJ Zodiac podcast. And remember, kids, in the world of Superman, be the Green Lantern. We will see you next time.
Lights go down, the tension's rising high. Got that fire burning in your eye. This is where the